Hi there and welcome to Apple World. The tune was composed 6 years before it got to Beyonce. She got 25% of the melody. The justification for why individuals who work for Beyonce don't talk is on the grounds that they're all on NDAS, on the grounds that that is additionally the way in which she works. She hushes individuals, so it's not possible for anyone to talk. You realize Beyonce put her tune out, and it shows me love. And furthermore, you're moving wherever you are. For what reason is everyone attempting to uncover Beyonce? Well, this time they're attempting to uncover her for still from dark specialists. This is by all accounts a repeating thing with Beyonce at whatever point she drops new music. And as of now, it's getting increasingly hard to overlook what individuals are talking about. Well, she could have been gotten in the act in the past for lying about tune credits, yet this time is way more awful in light of the fact that musician Tiffany Red just emerged to uncover Beyonce of taking up to 30% of eminence from lyricists who work for her. Definitely, this is valid, but really chaotic on the grounds that Beyonce is at long last answering these claims, and you all will have a hard time believing how she's going to deal with this wreck. Some of you call her the sovereign honeybee. You all consider that Beyonce's web will be astounding, assuming that Beyonce is paying each and every lyricist that is on task for the tunes that they're composing. It would be astonishing if Beyonce paid a meeting charge to the musicians and makers that are working with her. You all, it's an entire Dark History Month, and keeping in mind that everyone's over here attempting to lift each voice, Beyonce is getting uncovered for taking from dark specialists. There has been a ton of talk as of late about how she's continually taking from black artists, and afterward conceals her hands at whatever point she's called out for it, since she realizes the colony of bees will face her conflicts regardless however we going to separate it. Let you all choose who's coming clean, and not when she dropped Renaissance Act 1 of every 2022. Listen you all, there was such a lot of discussion joined to it, and that contention made a ton of clamor. First, there was the issue of Aaliyah Banks emerging and behaving like, well, Aaliyah Banks acts you all ability untidy. She is, so it's not shocking that she began acting now and attempting to drag Beyonce for wandering into house music as opposed to adhering to R&B. Well, Aaliyah wasn't the one in particular who accompanied that show, since we before long figured out that Beyonce didn't take care of business on the tune Break My Spirit. Now, for those of you who don't realize You Won't Break My SCU, this is an example of Robin S.'s tune You Got to Show Me Love. However, when we figured out that Beyonce didn't give Robin S. a heads up before the tune was delivered, it was an issue since Robin S. didn't have any idea anything about her tune being tested, and she possibly caught wind of it when her child called her to tell her that she was moving via virtual entertainment. It doesn't need to be affirmed. The vocalist knows her melodies, and my child called me and he resembles mother. You're moving out of control. You realize Beyonce put a melody out, and it shows me love, and you're moving wherever D attempted to fix things up with Robin in light of the fact that not long after individuals began calling Beyonce out, Robin took to Instagram to uncover that Honeybee had sent her a few roses, expressing it. Take a gander at my gift that was simply conveyed. Please peruse the card about 2 ages of heritage coming together. Beyonce, you are presently a piece of my inheritance, and I'm a piece of your heritage. We should ride. The wave child, may you keep on being that signal of light, that beam of daylight, and the expectation for a long time into the future. Generally in my heart anyway. Robin erased her post not long after she presented it, driving on the hypothesis that things between her and Beyonce were not quite so perfect as she attempted to play it off for the gram. This was additionally affirmed during a road interview with TMZ, but she guarantees she never heard back from Beyonce after she got the blossoms. Have you heard? I realize that you said that you were wanting to hear from Beyonce. Have you heard from her? Never surrender. Trust, definitely. Do you have any directive for Beyonce to presently continue doing what you're doing? No doubt. She likewise tossed some shade at Beyonce when she said that Chris Earthy's colored example of her melody was way better compared to Beyonce's. Golly, out of the multitude of individuals who tested myself, yes, I assume I like Chris Brown. Actually, you better believe it. Okay, I love Chris Brown. No doubt about it, there was certainly something happening there that we had hardly any familiarity with, on the grounds that between Robin driving her post to her expression that Beyonce ghosted her, definitely there was some shade continuing. Great Aaliyah Banks then. At that point, guaranteed. that Beyonce had solid equipped roping into making that post by promising to do a good job for her, just to wind up taking that commitment back, Awoya Banks composed, since B is around here professing to help dark divas with bundle of shriveled roses, later taking their specialty, egotistically expecting they don't have cash for lawful counsel, and muzzling them into making stock PR explanations to conceal this untidy collection. Carry out, however, that is not all, since vocalist Kais likewise blamed Beyonce for manipulating her and not surrendering her a heads for examining her hit tune. You realize my chi draws out the young men to the yard, and they like, well, Beyonce at first examined that tune on her melody, energy, and keys was enraged. To be fair, however, to Beyonce, police truly doesn't reserve the options to that tune, since she was in an exceptionally muddled circumstance with for genuine Williams and Chad Hugo from the Neptunes, who she guaranteed deceived her out of her lords, so Beyonce didn't have to get consent from Kiss to clear the melody, yet Khalees felt like it was the absolute minimum that Beyonce would have done, thinking about that they had a decent expert relationship before this went down. A Kiss fan page posted about the tune Energy on Instagram, and Keys hopped in the remarks to let her sentiments realized. She composed, "My brain is blown too," in light of the fact that the degree of disregard and unadulterated obliviousness of each of the three gatherings included is bewildering. I caught wind of this the same way every other person did. Nothing is ever as it appears, and a portion of individuals in this business have no spirit or trustworthiness, and they have everybody fooled. Now the fan attempted to play things off by saying that is a collab the world requires, yet Khalees was not having any of that and said it's anything but a collab. It's robbery. Another fan said, "I generally felt like Beyonce truly respects Khalees," and Khalees answered, "Respect isn't the word now." At the time, individuals were attempting to turn the story at Keys attempting to search for consideration, saying that she was pursuing cloud you all expertise the B colony gets when someone attempts to drag Beyonce, they get to shaking the tables. In any case, Keys then posted a video where she made sense of why she was so distraught about the tune. A CC to her, she was frantic in light of the fact that Beyonce never cleared the tune with her. Actually, the issue is that not in the least do are we female specialists. Okay, dark female artists in an industry that there's not that large numbers of us, right? We've met each other. We realize each other, and we have common companions. It's not hard. She can contact you, right? Debris Neek, who's 20. She's a youthful white young lady. She connected while cracking like it's simply normal fairness. Yet in the event that you don't possess the privileges, bungle, what is she going to do? Well, she likewise conceded that she didn't claim the freedoms to the tune since she had been cheated out of them by the Neptunes, otherwise known as Seriously and Esh Hugo. I additionally know the falsehoods that were informed, and I also know the things that were taken. Individuals were cheated out of privileges. It happens constantly, particularly in those days. I gave Khalees credit for the vocal and recorded her as a feature of the examined craftsman. That is the reason the credits on these tunes are so lengthy and well done. Beyonce covered every one of the places, and she did all that she should for Williams and Chad Hugo on those RSF. She contacted them to clear up that example, which they did. As such, there truly was not a great explanation for Beyonce to attempt to clear anything up with KES. However, again, this caused fans to feel a kind of distance on the grounds that Beyonce is known to be extremely severe with who gets tests to her tunes and how they test them 2 or 3 months before she drops Renaissance Act 1. Say my name? Yet Beyonce made it intense in light of the fact that she continued to request that he revise the verses. Definitely. She heard it. She needed to hear what I'm talking about. It was a little obscene, a tad obscene for her at first. You tidied it up. Tidy it up. I tidied it up. I tidied it up. Beyonce clear this, except if you so with her doing all that. Fans felt like she was utterly misguided for not giving a similar regard to Keys. And as this individual put it, when Fibio tests predetermination's kid, Beyonce connected with him to let him know that she ain't like it and to change it. She has each right as a craftsman. I feel like Callis is simply requesting something similar regard, yet Beyonce at last settled that show by eliminating K example from the tune altogether and eliminating Keys' vocals from the examples. Well, Beyonce is presently equipping to drop Renaissance Act 2, and again she's being uncovered for taking from dark specialists who dealt with the collection. Musician Tiffany Red went carry on with several days prior to uncover Beyonce for having unreasonable strategic approaches as well as menace as the casualties into quietness. Now, before we get into what Tiffany needed to say, Let me give you some unique circumstance so you comprehend what's happening so generally with regards to music. Distributing it ordinarily goes to the lyricist who composed the tune. However, at times craftsmen attempted to apply their impact and take a cut of the distributing in any event when they composed no piece of the melody, and tragically Beyonce is one of such specialists who has been blamed for this in the past. So in addition to the fact that Beyonce takes the lion portion of the distributing eminences, she likewise subscribe Apple World for more videos.